Join the thousands of movie fans gathering.
The offense continues to play as well as it's been. It's not going to burst. Their problem is going to be on defense. But when you look at the Washington Redskins and say, why is that offense playing so well? A couple of reasons. The offensive line, and then Gus Ferrata's playing well. But none of that works unless Terry Allen continues to do what he's been doing. I mean, he has been playing just at the top of his game. You can see him. He leads the NFL with touchdowns. He's right up there in yards. He is the key for that offense. If they get him going, that offense will work.
Now, the Buffalo Bills are 5-3, tied for first in their division, but you would think that their backs are to the wall the way they're acting, because they have a tug-of-war with offensive philosophy. Veteran quarterback Jim Kelly wants to run the no-huddle, and it seems that Marv Levy, the head coach, wants a less predictable offense.
Yeah, I mean, he says less predictable, but it was less predictable when they were going to the Super Bowl all those years, and I think that's what Jim Kelly has in the back of his mind. And I think he's comfortable with it, not only Kelly, but the offense. And I think they're saying, look, we can get this thing done. Let's get it turned around. Let's go back to the way we've been. I'll do the job. You protect me. There's a whole bunch of things going on, but the bottom line is this. I think you let Jim Kelly do what he does best. If you take him out of his game, and then he doesn't play as well. So you let him run with this. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, then you give him the hook.
So, Matt, coming into this matchup, how do you look and size up this game today?
I think this one comes down to the weakness of each team. Which one is going to step up? I think if you look at the Buffalo Bills, it's their offense. They've been out of sync. If they step up versus the weakness of the Washington Redskins, their defense, they'll win. And so whichever weakness plays strong today, that will make the difference.
All right, it should be a good one. The Redskins against the Bills. And we'll have the opening kickoff coming right up.
Fox is now the generation and control.
He's struggling with. So they're moving right down the field. Let's see what happens here.
Inside of 3.5 to go. The Panthers down by 10. They need a touchdown. Winslow Oliver on first down, and the draw play doesn't get much. Picked up about 2.
Good. Pump yet.
Would duplicate our one-of-a-kind taste.
At the 40.
Lions 28-18 in the fourth, and the New York Giants are shutting out the Arizona Cardinals. The Chicago Bears edged out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Steelers rolled over the St. Louis Rams. Cincinnati and Baltimore in a dogfight, all tied in the fourth quarter, and San Diego winning on the road inside in Indianapolis. So now we're up to date. The Bills have won the toss. Scott Blanton will be kicking off. Rookie Eric Moulds is back deep for the Buffalo Bills. Moulds will receive the kickoff at the 3. And a good turn by Eric Moulds as he crosses the 25-yard line. Jim Kelly, 36 years old, who says his arm feels great, but his confidence has been a little shaky as of late, with his team losing 2 of the last 3. And the numbers not impressive, with 4 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. The offensive line, Reuben Brown and Glenn Parker, shaken up last week, did not finish, back in the starting lineup today. Thurman Thomas has been having an outstanding year. Reed Tasker are the 2 wide receivers as the Bills start from the 27. Quinn Early is in motion. Thurman Thomas with an opening off the left side brings it out beyond the 30-yard line, where Stanley Richard makes the stop and a gain of 6.
You know, we talked about their differences of philosophy and what they're going to do. And they said, look, we're going to let Jim Kelly go with what he does best. And that's what they're doing right now. They're going to go with that no huddle. This is when Kelly's at his best. You just let him run with it.
2nd and 5, and it'll be a running play to Thurman Thomas. And Thomas appears to have a first down. Darrell Morrison making the stop defensively for the Washington Redskins. Rich Owens, Sean Gilbert, William Gaines, and Dexter Nottage, who is starting in place of the injured Tony Woods. They're banged up front. Patton, Stevens, and Harvey, the linebackers, and the secondary led by the incomparable Darrell Green. 1st and 10. Thurman Thomas, who's having a terrific first series, gets 8 yards.
You know what happens with this Buffalo offense? They go no huddle, and they change the pace of the game. And a lot of times, the start of the game is the most crucial for the opposing defense because it gets you on their heels, and that's where Buffalo has this team right now.
And again, it's the Thurman Thomas show, knocked back at midfield, but enough for a Buffalo first down. Marv Fitzpatrick, the ex-Bill, making the tackle, and it's been all Thurman Thomas in the no-huddle.
Yeah, and it's been all Jim Kelly saying, I got a hot-handed Thomas, and our offensive line, I'm going to give them confidence. You want to give an offensive line confidence, keep pounding the football.
Thomas moves out, split to the right, and the pass in and out of the hands of the tight end, Lonnie Johnson, will bring up 2nd down.
You know, so much has been made of Jim Kelly, and that he's not the same guy. And so many things are saying, well, his releases, his arm's not good, all these different things. I don't see that. I see a strong arm. If there's any difference in Jim Kelly, it's his legs, and he doesn't set up quite as fast.
On 2nd and 10, here is Derek Holmes. And Holmes gets about 3 yards on the play as Thurman Thomas got a breather after carrying the first 4 times for 23 yards. And it was William Gaines who has played very well at tackle. Remember, Mark Boutte also out for the Redskins. They're hurting up front coming into this game. 3rd and 7 in Redskin territory. Kelly looking to throw, and the pass is caught. Oh, nice fine catch by Quinn Early.
Quinn Early's working on Tom Carter on the outside. I got to tell you, Tom Carter does just about everything right. Play him to the outside. Look at this ball. Look where that thing was thrown, and the concentration of Quinn Early. It can't be defensed any better. It's thrown perfectly. Just a good football play.
And again, they go to Derek Holmes on 1st down. Gets about a yard. Ken Harvey in on the play. So a fine play made by Quinn Early, who's had a quiet first half of the season. Came over from the New Orleans Saints, but expects to break out more in the second half.
Well, I think a lot of that is part of Jim Kelly's problem. He's got 4 new starters on that offense, and it takes them just as long to learn that no huddle as it does for Kelly to get used to that.
2nd and 9, and here is Holmes backed up. Holmes in trouble. And coming up to make the play is Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, and a loss of 7 for the Bills.
Yeah, well, Stevens made the tackle, but the play was made up front between Nottage and Romeo Bandison. And when they stopped Reuben Brown when he pulled and forced everything back inside. So many times in this league, what happens is you'll see a guy get in with a tackle, and it's the other people who really made the play. They just kind of get that JOP, that jump on the pile thing.
That brings up 3rd and long, and Kelly out of the shotgun for the first time. And he pitches to Derek Holmes. And Holmes hemmed in by Stanley Richard.
Derek Holmes taken down by Stanley Richard.
And so the Buffalo Bills are stopped short after what looked like an impressive first drive. And on 4th down, Chris Moore coming into punt. So the Redskins finally shut down the Bills after the Bills got into Washington territory. And the dangerous Brian Mitchell, who had a breakout game last week, 71-yard punt return. And a long kickoff return as well. Moore with the kick. And it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. And the Redskins will go on offense for the first time. When we come back to Orchard Park, no score.
Him out of bounds. There's 1 foot. He can't get the 2nd foot down that's on the line. Now, Phil, when you look at this here, you're seeing Reno throwing the ball. They would like to run the football, right?
Well, they talk about running the football, Paul, but I really believe if you want to, then start out throwing the football through the Miami offense and get New Orleans defense thinking about pass, and then you run the football.
Well, that second replay looked like Hill might have just gotten his toe down inbounds. 3rd down, the quick throw incomplete to Juris McPhail, and the New England defense has held.
Of those two, if they get them to...
Especially the right seconds, and then almost in unison, like the national anthem was about to be sung, they stood to leave.
Bruce Coslett, he didn't want to see it. He was watching.
He could judge by it.
He was holding out a good John Carter and.
A hummingbird flicks.
Jimmy Hitchcock makes the block for Meggett. 48-yard punt, 4 on the return, and Larry Izzo, the rookie from Rice, the tackler.
I can never understand what takes these guys so long. Here's the guy that threw the flag.
MasterCard, it's smart money. And by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Back here in Buffalo, Gus Frerotte, the quarterback who has kept his mistakes to a minimum with only 5 interceptions, will bring out the Redskins, who begin from the 20-yard line. In motion is James Jenkins, the second tight end, and Terry Allen trying to go wide out of bounds. And that sets a few people scrambling, and a penalty marker is thrown. The referee today is Larry Nemmer.
Personal foul. 55 defense for a late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty.
The linebacker.
First down.
You're going to watch right at the end of this play. Terry Allen's going to clearly want to go out of bounds. And then there comes the hit from Mark Maddox from the inside out.
The offensive line for the Redskins, and that's been one of the big reasons for their success without question. And they welcome back Trey Johnson to the starting lineup. Johnson back at left guard after missing last week's game with the Colts. First down on the 39 following the personal foul. The slant pass to Brian Mitchell, and Mitchell takes it out close to midfield, and nearly a first down for the Redskins. So Gus Frerotte, who has been a terrific quarterback with Patton, Trey Johnson back in the lineup. Patton moves back to left tackle. Ulanake at center with Bob Dahl and Ed Simmons on the right side. Mark Logan was questionable with a strained calf muscle, but he is eligible to play and in the game right now. Henry Ellard and Leslie Shepard, the wide receivers. Jamie Asher, impressive at tight end this year. First down at the 49 of the Redskins. And going up top for Michael Westbrook. And a flag is down. He was covered by Burris and Ken Irvin, the nickelback. And a penalty down at the 25.
North Turner not having 100% Michael Westbrook yet, but knows that he's the one guy who has down the field speed.
Defensive pass interference. Number 22 cut the receiver off. Automatic first down.
You're gonna watch. Now Michael Westbrook can get deep. Burris plays it perfectly. Now right at the middle, right there. See how he stuck his arm out and bumped him? Yeah. Now to me, I don't like that call. I think you let him play. But North Turner knows that he's got speed in 82, so he uses them down the field.
And the Redskins have a first down on the Buffalo 23. And Bryce Pop all over Terry Allen as he got the handoff. But so far, 2 major penalties are called against the Buffalo defense to give the Redskins first down. That has been really an Achilles heel for the Bills this year, the penalties, which Marv Levy hopes his team can cut down.
Well, you talk to that Buffalo defense and you say, you know, what about this Washington offense? The first words out of their mouth, we've got to stop Terry Allen. Terry Allen is the key, and I would agree with you.
Second down and 9. They stopped him on that last play for sure. Play fake, and Frerotte has Mark Logan out of the backfield, and Logan knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Mark Logan, who's coming off his best game of the year and having a terrific season.
Well, I think that's just a question of Mark Logan getting familiar with the offense as well as the rest of this offense getting familiar with his skill. Now, I was with him prior to the game down in the locker room and asked him, you know, how that calf felt. He said, you know what, I really don't know. I haven't tried to push it at all. I don't know how it's going to feel. I'm going to go out and work on it. And, you know, I watched him prior to the game running, and he looked fine. And heck, if that's any indicator, that's a great sign for the Redskins.
First and goal at the 1, and Terry Allen. That was not a good snap. There was a little bit of a confusion as Frerotte got the snap from Ulanake. prior to the handoff to Terry Allen. That'll bring up 2nd and goal.
You know, I got to say, the Buffalo Bills defense plays best when they have a lead. When they are up, they're even better because then you got Bryce Pop and Bruce Smith flying off the corners. They can rush the passer. Wade Phillips knows all that. That's why I think a fast start to their offense is so important. Conversely, a slow start for their defense is not good.
And they have not been good in the red zone defense as Farrat tries to go to Logan. And he has his incomplete.
And he threw a bad one. Because he had Logan on the play action. Now, Logan's going to go through, and you got to expect to be whacked when you're going to do that. They're going to play action, go a little short motion, then come through. Now, on goal line defense, you're going to have to get hit and take a hit and still get out. He does that. Farrat had him, and he tried to, what he tried to do is aim that ball instead of just throwing.
Logan comes in the game as the 2nd leading receiver for the Redskins. 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Here is Terry Allen, and he'll get over for the touchdown. Terry Allen, the first Redskin running back in history to score 3 touchdowns on successive weeks, has scored one here on the first Washington possession of the game to give the Skins a 6-0 lead.
And this is a combination of things. This is a combination of their offensive line right in here taking care of things, and then Galbraith right here getting that block. There's a crucial block. And then Logan is able to come outside, and once he's stalemated, the speed of Terry Allen to be able to hit this skier and get outside. He just runs right by Schultz and gets in for the score.
That is his 14th touchdown of the year. He leads the NFL, and Scott Blandon is on to kick the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Redskins have taken a 7-0 lead, going 80 yards, capped on this touchdown run by Terry Allen. That's his 7th.
Myers in motion, 1st and goal. Across the goal line as Martin gives New England the lead. Sam Gash is just leading up, and Martin goes up over the top. Now that ball comes out soon. I'm going to tell you that there's another one was a fumble. The one before, Dick, the reason that ball was blown dead right where it was because it hit the pylon, and the pylon is out of bounds. John Burke recovered for New England. That was so close. It might be interesting to see if Martin was over. Vinatieri, who has missed 3 extra points, is good on that one, and it's 7-0. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. Did Martin break the plane? It looks like as Martin's getting ready to jump, the ball's coming out. Now here's Martin. He's going to try to make the jump. Here's the ball. The ball is out. The question is, was the ball across the goal line before that thing came out? Now here is Martin. Is the ball at the line? I'm going to tell you what, that is about as close as I'm going to get. That is a fumble, but New England still recovers the ball.
Feel the track point. Feast your...
It's Burke, just a spectator. It was fumbled before he hit the goal line, and then Burke sees the friendly roll for New England.
Zach Thomas made the hit before Curtis Martin crossed the goal line. But in the official's opinion, he did cross before it was a fumble.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see the
touchdown tear. The Redskins lead 7-0 on an impressive 7-play 80-yard drive, helped by 43 penalty yards tacked on against the Bills. So Norv Turner's team is in front, and of course the one thing the Bills had told us, they needed a fast start coming out of the chute in this game. Scott Blandon will kick off. Eric Moles is the beat man for Buffalo. It is a short line drive kick. And it's picked up by Moles inside the 5. And Moles refusing to go down, brings it out, and then finally knocked out of bounds. They rule at about the 17-yard line.
First and 10 for the Bills at their
one of the points I think that gets overlooked with this no-huddle offense is this. So many times in football, they talk about patience, and you have to have patience with the running game, patience with the offense, and that always comes from the sideline for the guy who's calling it. When you go to the no-huddle, the patience goes from the sideline, and it goes right into Jim Kelly. And I think that's a tough thing to do for a quarterback who's in a hurry up and trying to keep pace is to remain patient.
Bills start from the 17. Tyndale and Thomas in the backfield, and here is Thurman Thomas, who carried the first 4 plays of the game, but William Gaines showing good pursuit as well as Marcus Patton stops Thomas for a loss of 2 yards.
The other thing with this is having to substitute from the sideline all the time with this no-huddle pace. Puts a lot of pressure on your sideline and the coaches to get the personnel you want in a hurry.
Scott Turner is the extra defensive back for the Redskins. 2nd down and 12. Harvey trying to put pressure on, and that's a coverage sack by the Redskins. Kelly had nowhere to go, and Dexter Nottage, starting this game in place of Tony Woods, gets Kelly.
That's exactly what happens. First, you're going to see a little bit of pressure inside by Sean Gilbert, and then look right here. That's a great job of knocking this one off. And then you look down the rest, there's no place to throw the football. And because they stay with this coverage, Kelly has to come off of it, and then the sack.
So out of the shotgun on 3rd and 14 is Harvey putting pressure on. Kelly dumps it off to Thomas, but nothing doing. And Brian Walker, who is an undrafted rookie from Washington State, stops Thomas, and the Bills will have to kick from the shadow of their goal line.
And then that's another good job of that Redskin defense. Remember, we talked right at the start of which weakness was going to come up strong. And the Washington Redskins right now, in terms of coverage, are outstanding. They played that one just perfectly.
Redskins looking at good field position. Chris Moore punting it away, and the Redskins were going for the block. Brian Mitchell at midfield. And Mitchell's pushed back. And a fine special teams play by Robert Coons, and a loss of 10 on the return by Mitchell. Great play by Coons.
Jabbar with 6 touchdowns rushing for Miami. And of course, he had a very impressive debut in the win against New England on opening day. He leads all the rookie runners in the league in touchdowns made coming in today. First down for Marino. Into the flat to Abdul-Jabbar. He crosses the 50, and at the 48-yard line where Jimmy Hitchcock makes the tackle, no fumble, 6 yards on the play.
So Jimmy Hitchcock felt that he just stole the ball from Abdul-Jabbar.
Hitchcock starting for the injured Ricky Reynolds at the corner.
All right, here comes Hitchcock, 31. Now look at this. He steal the ball? No, Jabbar is down. Here it is here. Number 33 is Jabbar. Here comes the ball. The ball is out. I'm going to tell you what. We've seen 3 questionable fumbles so far in this first quarter.
Jabbar smothered Todd Collins, and others make the hit.
Well, this is the first time they
companies that make steel.
It's slick, and it's calls for fumbles and drop passes in days like today.
Well, in your giant heyday, Phil Sim, it just seemed when you got to November, your team became even tougher.
Well, we can run the football. It's strong enough or big enough just to come out and line up and run the football on them.
3rd and 3. Marino shotgun. 4 wide receivers. To the sideline. Lamar Thomas at the 20, and the former University of...
In the 3-4, Bryce Pop, who's second with 5 sacks. Chris Spielman, the former Lion, has played well. And in the secondary, Smith, Schultz, Stevens, and Jeff Burris for the Bills. 1st and 10 at the 40. The Redskins lead Buffalo 7-0. Barat swings it out to Allen. Allen slipped and then was tackled in a gain of maybe a yard.
I think when you watch what Norv Turner is doing right there, it addresses the strength of the Buffalo Bills defense. They've been playing very, very good run defense. And so in order to take advantage of what they do well and use it against them, he's throwing early. And he's trying to loosen up that running game by throwing and getting the ball back outside, which of course will cause the Buffalo Bills defense to spread.
2nd and 9, and the pass to Asher underneath. And a gain of about 4, so it'll be 3rd and 5. That was Chris Spielman, the former Detroit Lion. And there you're looking at Jamie Asher. who has played well at tight end. He's been one of the highlights offensively with Logan and Allen, as well as that offensive line. 3rd and 5 on the Redskin 45. Brian Mitchell, the 3rd down back, is checked in. And the handoff is to Mitchell, and Mitchell gets a first down into Buffalo territory to the 49-yard line.
So it's 2 passes and then a run. So you get their best run defenders out of there, and then you go ahead and when they're expecting a pass, you run them up the field with the draw.
Versus 10 at the 49.
Mitchell gained 22 yards rushing and 26 as a receiver last week as he finally smashed out of his problems as a return man. Terry Allen back in the lineup now. First down on the Bills 49. And the pitch is to Allen. And Allen doesn't get far. Chris Spielman and Mark Maddox both meet him head on. And a gain of only 1.
Well, you know, he said about 3rd down when they get him out of there, they get their best run defenders out of there, and that's Chris Spielman. And Chris Spielman is a studier. Chris Spielman is an excellent reader. He's one of those guys who sees things right when they happen, and he gets to the football. He's a student of the game, and he's really helped this Buffalo defense. He's also a function of big old 92 in front of him, Ted Washington. I think that's been a big difference for him to have a big body, whereas in Detroit he didn't have that.
It helps to have a guy like that up front. 2nd and 8, a double pump, and the pass caught. Well caught by Henry Ellard. And Ellard, you want to talk about an ageless Darrell Green on defense. What about what Ellard has done offensively with Burris all over him and a gain of 9 yards? It's another first down.
Yeah, and you can see now that's a 751st. 5th all-time. Charlie Joyner, who's coaching the Buffalo Bill receivers on the other side, he just went past it. I think the other thing right there is you see the maturity of Farrat to be able to stay with that pump and then get that ball in there.
Redskins driving for the 2nd time. They have a first down on the Buffalo 38-yard line. And Terry Allen.
This is what Bruce Smith does very well. When I watch Bruce Smith year after year, the one thing that you really see, I mean, he might be the most blessed pass rusher I've ever watched. I mean, the best defender that I've ever seen is Lawrence Taylor. The best pass rusher that I've ever watched is Bruce Smith. Now, in the run game, he's not always been there. He's not been inconsistent, but he hasn't been a disciplined guy. Sometimes he'll jump under a block, and he'll make a big play like that. Then another time he might jump, and they got to blow up inside on him.
2nd down and 11. Farrat with a short drop, drills it, incomplete. No receiver in the neighborhood. And that'll bring up 3rd and long with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. The Redskins lead 7-0, and the extra defensive backs come in. There's Brian Mitchell and Michael Westbrook coming in the game for the Redskins offense.
Remember a few years ago when Bruce Smith said, "I'm the best defensive player in the National Football League," and everybody looked at Lawrence Taylor and said, "No, he is." And I think Bruce Smith's come a long way from that. I think he's matured, and that's made him a better football player.
Last 4 games, the Redskins have been sensational on 3rd down conversions. They need 11 yards here. Farrat's pass incomplete. Adam Boyle will put up big pressure. Leslie Shepard was the intended receiver, and Bryce Popp and company put the heat on Gus Farrat. That'll bring up 4th down, and the Redskins will kick.
4th and 11.
And really, Farrat is inconsistent. Those last 2 balls just took off on him because he had Shepard wide open in the middle of the field.
One of the better kickers in the NFL, Matt Turk, will be punting, and Jeff Burris goes back deep. Steve Tasker normally is back there, but Tasker, who just returned from a sprained foot injury last week, is going to be used as a receiver exclusively today and on special teams. Good high kick by Turk, and that will go into the end zone. And the Bills will take it. 7-0 Redskins.
They run it twice.
It's an excellent job. Stanley Pritchett, number 36, comes over, goes the outside.
Second drive, they start off, say, let's try the passing attack. Let's go to Steve McNair, see what he can do. And boy, limited success is an understatement as he throws it right to Terry Wooden.
Warren getting a massage on the sidelines. He has not had anywhere to run. Peterson kicks off. And taking it will be Mel Gray from the 10-yard line. He doesn't look like he's lost the beat at all across the 40-yard line. Jeff Fisher told us it would be a game-time decision to see if Mel Gray could play. So far, he's been impressive.
I would prefer some.
Where you treat me this way.
Presenting the full-time forward. It's everything Alexis is, and everything Alexis isn't.
Homer's involved in a plot to control the world.
We are totally mad.
On The Simpsons season premiere, part of a full hour tonight on Non-Stop Fox.
2 minutes and 13 seconds remain in the first quarter here at Orchard Park. Crowd of about 80,000. They did not sell out in time, so the blackout is in force here, but the fans in the walk-up came out enough to create just about an 80,000 capacity. They've been great fans here supporting the Bills, and why not with what they've achieved. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Thurman Thomas for about a yard. And right now from McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Dick, here's how the upset took place in Irving. Troy Aikman, 30 seconds left, going for the go-ahead score. Picked off by James Willis. He laterals to Troy Vincent, who goes 90 yards for the decisive score. Eagles win it. Back to Dick and Matt.
All right, Jake.
Great football game that was.
Thurman Thomas doesn't get much on a pass out in the flat. That was a game that you would expect between two division rivals, and as a result, the Eagles now are 7-2, and the Redskins need a win to maintain their one-game lead over Philadelphia in the NFC East. So at the no huddle, 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Bills. Kelly's pass to Quinn Early, and Early is stopped short of the first down by about a yard. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Well, that's going to be short.
Ryan Walker again with a good defensive play for Washington.
I think Washington in coverage right now is just at the top of their game. I mean, they had him in 2nd down, boom, ball came right up. I think Ron Lynn's got himself a pretty good game plan, and he's sticking with it.
This is a defensive team that has given up a lot of yards, but not many points.
And they have not looked good in giving up all those yards as well. They just have not played very good defense.
Chris Moore back to kick it away. Brian Mitchell will call for the fair catch at the 32-yard line of the Redskins with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter.
That'll be 1st and 10 for the Washington Redskins at their...
Do you believe in reincarnation? Tonight on The X-Files, Agent Mulder uncovers a past life that will change his future forever. Don't miss an all-new, chilling episode of The X-Files tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Well, I hear a lot of people talking about that X-Files show. They think that's one of their favorites.
Well, I'll tell you what, when people tune in to Fox's superb coverage of the World Series, a lot of people who didn't know the X-Files was around now know, and they're responding to that apparently. 1st and 10 at the 31 for the Redskins. Play fake. Farrat got some pressure and tried to get it out to Mark Logan. Incomplete. But Bryce Pop, as he did in the last series, coming in strong on Farrat.
Well, like he's done from Green Bay and now here. You know, it's funny, talking to Ron Wolf, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, he said, you know, the biggest mistake I made was letting Bryce Pop go. He said I should have paid him the money and been done with it. He's one of the best defenders in the National Football League, and I couldn't agree more.
No Packer fan would agree more, that's for sure.
And all around, too. I mean, he'll play pass and rush the passer and the run equally as well.
2nd and 10, Terry Allen.
Now, that's a perfect example.
Phil Hansen.
The Hansen's going to make that play, make the tackle, but the guy who made that play is Bryce Pop. And Bryce Pop came with an inside slant move. You're going to watch him. He's going to jump inside. He's going to force everything to bang outside. Watch him going to come inside. Then they're going to take Hansen and bring him back outside. And because he stayed with that and forced the ball to bounce outside, he goes right into Hansen. There's Hansen throw him, come around. Pop does all the work. Hansen reaps the benefit.
And as you say, it's not only the man that makes the tackle all the time, it's the guy who sets it up to allow the player to make the tackle. And that's what Bryce Pop did there. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Orchard Park, New York, with the Washington Redskins leading the Buffalo Bills by a score.
He stands, he tells his whole team.
Seeing more and more of that. Part of it because these defensive ends, these linebackers, these speed rushers on the outside, becoming so athletic that
down too long like that, you make those kind of mistakes.
Let's pay attention during the timeouts. So first down 15 for Drew Bledsoe. Very impressive on the touchdown drive. He was 5 for 6. Being chased, but gets it away to Meggett, and Meggett able to struggle forward to the 34-yard line. Shane Burton made the tackle. It was Aaron Jones pressuring Bledsoe. Man, I'm going to tell you, I'd like to know how this defense worked. They had Dwight Hoyer, number 50, covering on Ben Coates man-to-man.
But also number 97, Aaron Jones, the defensive lineman. They had nobody blocking him. And Drew Bledsoe, something he's done very well this year, moving around a lot more than he ever has in the past, getting rid of the football and making some positive plays.
He fires the former Dolphin in motion. Hit in the backfield is Meggett, as slicing through with Zach Thomas. And what a rookie find he has been. 5th round, the 154th player selected. Zach Thomas has played terrific football this first half of the year. And that's the end of the opening quarter here in Foxborough. The Dolphins, the Patriots, 7-all.
Jake! My defense!
Today, more than ever, business is...
Good rush defense by the Bills lately, stopping some of the top runners in the NFL.
Yeah, and today's no exception. You know, right now Terry Allen has 9 yards rushing. And I think that's why Norv Turner is throwing the ball on first down, trying to get it out of there early to try to keep that defense off balance.
Allen does have the touchdown, though, for the Redskins to give them their 7-point lead. 3rd down and 8 coming up for Washington. Barrett's pass. And turning around, a flag is down. Michael Westbrook was the intended receiver, could not hold on after being spun around, but a flag is down. Bills were hit with 2 defensive penalties on the Redskins' first drive.
Yeah, I like Jeff Burris. I think he's a pretty good football player.
Offensive pass interference, number 82.
This one is against Westbrook, the offensive receiver.
Michael Westbrook, number 82, big, strong, he can run. Now, remember, you get 5 yards to have a bump. And it looks to me like that's a makeup call for earlier. Because Michael Westbrook came off and physically got into him as Terry Obisky worked with him, tell him to use his arm, see a rip move. Westbrook is so strong, he'll take the hit and he'll just get off of it.
So Matt Turk will kick, and Jeff Burris back deep for the Bills. Burris is going to let it bounce, and it takes a Washington hop, and still going. And the Redskins will finally down it inside the 15-yard line. So that punt worked for Matt Turk. 52-yard kick. Buffalo ball when we come back.
Comparisons, and Bledsoe missing on only 1 pass. Working against his idol as a kid, Dan Marino. Bledsoe goes long. Sean Jefferson unable to come back in time as Zach Thomas puts the heat on Bledsoe.
Boy, did Bledsoe take a shot just as he was throwing the ball. Zach Thomas.
It's a blitz. Tim Jacobs, the secondary guy, comes from the outside, occupies the blocker. Zach Thomas sees an opening, and this man can run and make a decision and get to a player when he wants to.
Sean Jefferson can attest to that after.
Give a look.
Kick it with O.J. McDuffie back at the 22. He drives it. McDuffie at the 16. Has some room on the sidelines.
Biggest sports stars around.
You know, I like them with long hair.
And you never know when they'll show up.
Well, sure.
It's the official All-Star Cafe.
Ken Griffey Jr. 301 lifetime average.
Where the owners are always willing to help out.
Excuse me, it's 302.
So if you go, bring the right stats and the right card. Visa, because the All-Star doesn't take. American Express.
301 lifetime average.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Plymouth. One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. By McDonald's, official break of the NFL. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today.
Now, Mike Westbrook come to the sideline. Terry Rubisky, the receivers coach, he's going to, and then Norv Turner over here, see him talking about how to get off that. I got to tell you something. They're going to watch the tape and they're going to say, you know what? There was no penalty.
First down at the 14 for Jim Kelly and the Bills. And his pass to Lonnie Johnson brings him up to the 20. The Redskins right now are lining up Ken Harvey as a defensive end in place of Rich Owens and going with a fifth defensive back in Scott Turner. So a little bit of a wrinkle defensively employed by the Skins here.
And I'd expect now for Jim Kelly to go attack that with 5 DBs and go run at it.
Second down and 3. Thurman Thomas finds an opening, and Thomas with a first down for the Bills up to the 26-yard line of Buffalo. Marcus Patton and Thomas slow getting up.
He landed on the ball. The ball has a way of knocking the wind and everything else out of you.
And Derek Holmes will quickly come back in the game. Hopefully that's all it is.
I hope so too. I mean, he looked like he's kind of hanging his shoulder there a little bit.
Thomas is having a brilliant season. First down, Derek Holmes powers his way and still on his feet. And finally ridden out of bounds by Darryl Morrison, but not before Holmes picks up 18 yards.
Dick, you know, we talked about guys who make the punch, and watch Reuben Brown right here, 79. You see the guy who makes the play, and you look at Derek Holmes, but right there's the key. And it was Reuben Brown's block who cleared the big opening, and then Holmes gets into the secondary, and he's able to pick up a big chunky yardage.
Holmes goes out. Tim Tyndale is in as the running back. One of the rare carries for Tyndale. And the offensive line on the left side opened up a big hole. And it was Turner and Stanley Richard, but 15 yards on 2 running plays run off by the Buffalo offense.
Well, and now they're going to have to go back and get away from that nickel. Remember, as soon as you said they went with 5 DBs and they're going to put Ken Harvey on the line, now you got to change because they're just gashing him in the run. And that's what they're doing. Now they go back to their 3-backer set.
You're right. Rich Owens back in at defensive end. First and 10 at the 41-yard line of the Bills, or of the Redskins, I should say. Buffalo has been successful running the ball, and they keep it on the ground. Derek Holmes, but this time the Redskins stopped Holmes after a gain of only a yard.
Well, and now when they're going to do that and they have their 3 receivers in, then to counter that, Kelly again will go back to throwing the football. And it's a matter of cat and mouse. You do this, I do this. You can't cover that, boom, we come right back. You see with the no huddle, it's not quite the hurry up, but they still have a lot of time to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 5, they put Harvey in pass coverage, and Kelly going deep, and the pass is caught to the 10-yard line. And Carter making the play on Andre Reed, who makes his first reception of the game, a 30-yard pickup.
Well, and then the first thing is he has a lot of time to throw. No pass rush at all. Kelly can just step right into that thing, and then you're going to watch. As soon as he breaks to the inside, there's nobody to the middle of the field. No safeties. It looks like he's playing the outside, looking for safety help, but there's nothing there.
And Thurman Thomas is there in the backfield for the Bills and gets the ball. Thomas spinning his way, fights, touchdown, Buffalo. That is as decisive a drive as any team has run off the Redskins this year. Big play, and it was the touchdown by Thomas.
Well, and again, there's Reuben Brown with the block right there on Dexter Nottage right up here, and then it's just right up inside. And then it's a question of poor tackling and nice running. Watch the spin, watch the control, and then he just drives through the end zone.
Steve Christie with the extra point ties the score at 7-7. Thurman Thomas with touchdown number 6 on the ground. And the Bills quickly get back in the game.
Brett Carroll and his line of scrimmage. You could see him pulling on the jersey, Once you put that hand outside the shoulders of the defender, the referee will almost always call holding.
Keith Byers, when we talked about Miami, his former team yesterday, Marino's the most confident player that I have ever seen by far. He said, no defense for a perfect pass, and I can throw a perfect pass, is the way Marino operates. Right there for Pritchett to the 40-yard line to get back about the 10 they lost on the penalty. Confidence, cockiness, all qualities you'd want in your quarterback?
The greatest quality you could ever give a quarterback is to have the confidence of a Dan Marino. And I've always said, and I mean this as a compliment, he's never thrown an incompletion or an interception that was on him. He comes back out in the field still feeling good, and he can create positive plays because of that.
Second down and 11. Marino steps away from trouble. And now trying to get it loose. No flag down. Fans want grounding. Johnson and McGinnis were all over. About this guy, Dan Marino, that when it starts with his father. Now you see the replay now, and here comes Marino. He's going to step up. He feels Slade right there. He steps up. Now watch what he does. He pumps. Now he just throws. He knows he's going to get hit. There's nobody out there, but he throws.
Thomas now with 60 rushing touchdowns, 20 as a receiver in the company of Marcus Allen, Jim Brown, and Lenny Moore. You can't get much better than that.
No, those are all Hall of Fame names. Thurman Thomas has the same kind of ring to it, doesn't it?
William Bell and Brian Mitchell are back deep, and it's going to be Mitchell returning from the 10. And dragged out of bounds. Buffalo doing a great job, and that was Mark Pike on the special teams coverage, and that was an 86-yard drive, and this was the key play.
Yeah, the key play. Andre Reed gets inside. Tom Carter is playing the outside, expecting help to the inside, but they ran the tight end right at the safety, and that opened that area. And you can't do that with Andre Reed. If there's a hole, he's going to find it. Jim Kelly knows where 83 is all the time, has for years.
54 of those yards came on the ground. The last 10 from Thurman Thomas. Redskins have a first down on their 23. 7-7 the score. Terry Allen flag first, and the penalty apparently will be against the Redskins.
False start. Number 89 offense prior to the snap. 5 yards from the team. Still first down.
And that'll bring up first and 15.
This is a good test for this Washington Redskin team to see where they're at. They're on the road, on turf, going against a strong defense and an offense that's waiting to explode. Their defense has to pick it up, and then this guy right here, he can't miss throws like he did on that last drive.
Barak's numbers 5 for 10. First and 15. Barak being chased, dumps it off. Screen pass to Terry Allen, and Allen nearly got them all back.
Well, I'm going to tell you something today. Bruce Smith blew off the ball, and Trey Johnson wasn't going to let him go anywhere. Watch the quick jump. Boom, upfield, now inside. Now here's Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson just buries him. And because there's no pressure to that side, he has the time. He just looks underneath and finds Terry Allen, who runs through. You know, you look at Bruce Smith. He's not a big guy. I mean, he's 265 pounds. He's kind of small. Trey Johnson is a man mountain.
And Joe Patton was a guy he was looking to get after. As Mark Logan, fumble, a couple of yards, fumble. And it's recovered by the Bills.
That's only their second fumble since week 2. Actually, their first fumble since week 2.
And only the 7th turnover of the season. Another prescription for success for the Redskins, and it was Matt Stevens, the strong safety, who recovered the fumble.
And that was funny. The ball was on the ground, and there were Redskin guys just standing around. I think it was Bob Dahl, who's not. Bob Dahl's inside. Trey Johnson's looking up here, and the ball's down there.
He's right at his feet.
And, yeah, look at this. Look at Trey Johnson. Heck, he could have eaten that thing if he wanted it, but he was looking the wrong spot.
What?
Hopefully not do that.
Right there.
So the Bills get the ball in Redskin territory. They're on the 35 of Washington. First turnover of the game. There's Thurman Thomas. Nothing doing there, and Sean Gilbert.
There's a nice matchup on the inside. You can see it's only the second fumble lost in 485 handles. And that's the one thing that they have preached from training camp on, is don't turn the ball over, and they've been fortunate to this point.
Second down, 10. Jim Kelly pulls it down. Takes off. And Kelly makes the most out of very little, and the Redskins will be shy by about 3 yards for the first down. Kelly had nowhere to go with it. That'll bring up third down. Maybe 4.
A 6-yard gain, 3rd and 4.
No huddle, and this is what Jim Kelly wants to run. It's his game all the way on the no huddle, known as the K-gun here in Buffalo. Out of the shotgun. First down. That was all inside the 20-yard line. Darryl Pounds brought him down.
That was all Jim Kelly. They get up to the line of scrimmage. He looked over the defense. He saw the safety was sitting back, audible. Now you're going to send your offensive line pull and go around to the left side and run to where nobody is.
Gain of 10 yards. 3 wide receivers, and the Bills with another first down on the 19. Thurman Thomas again off the left side. Picks up about a yard, that's all. And a flag is down. Thomas, who was shaken up earlier, came back and scored a touchdown from 10 yards out to tie the game at 7-7.
Personal foul. Number 80 offense for a hit to the head. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Moles, the rookie. Yeah, Eric Moles, rookie from Mississippi State, first-round draft choice.
He's learning, you know what, right here. He's learning life in the NFL. It's not the guy who takes his first swing or anything like that or puts the punch. It's the second guy, and that's what he did. And they were wrestling back and forth, and he gave him a shot right to the kisser, and he got called. A lot of promise for Eric Moles, and they like what they seen him, obviously, which is why they made him a number 1. But he has to pick this offense up, and one of the reasons is this offense that Kelly likes to run. It takes a while to pick up and learn the nuances of that K-gun offense because it revolves around Jim Kelly. And he'd give you a nod or a wink or a look. You got to learn that.
Moles has caught only 8 passes in the first half of the year. First down and 24. Back to the 33-yard line of the Redskins. Thurman Thomas on a sweep. Still going. And out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Scott Turner ran him out of bounds, and a gain of 11 yards for Thomas.
Well, you know, so much has been talked about this Buffalo Bill offense and not playing well. And a lot of it was levied on that offensive line. And I'll tell you what, right now it looks like that offensive line is playing pretty well. Conversely, the defensive front of the Washington Redskins is getting their rear ends handed to them.
Again, out of the shotgun, a running play, and this one fizzles as Sean Gilbert just smothers Thurman Thomas.
You know, who he smothers first is his old roommate, Reuben Brown, inside. Watch these two right here. Watch, he's going to take them strength on strength, cat and mouse, get out of my way. Let me have you. Give me something to eat. You better believe he's talking to his old roommate right after that. There they are. From Pitt, Reuben Brown was 2 years behind him. Sean Gilbert was the upperclassman, but they roomed together.
Third down and 14 for Jim Kelly. And his pass caught by Andre Reed. Reed gets some extra yards, short of the first down. But Bills are in field goal range. That was an 8-yard pickup and another penalty down. And this one will be against the Bills, so let's wait and see before the field goal story comes in.
You know, it's interesting. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills and all these players, and the guys we mentioned are the guys who've been there for the long time.
And they've kept that nucleus. They've made sure with all the changes, they've kept the Reeds, the Thomases, and the Kellys.
And the Bruce Smiths on the other side, and they add a Bryce Pop, and Kent Hull's been there for a long time.
There were 2 men moving on the offensive team. Number 89. Penalty is declined.
It'll be a fourth down as 2 men moving, and so Steve Christie will come in to try the field goal and attempt to give the Bills the lead for the first time today. Christie, one of the more accurate kickers in the National Football League, 17 of 19.
They're missing a guy right now, and Ruben Brown ran off and didn't report, and now they're rushing back in. Coombs, the extra tight end, they're just going to tell him what to do.
This will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. And Christie's kick is good, and the Bills take the lead for the first time, 10-7 on Steve Christie, 33-yard field goal.
Miller Lite presents You Gotta Love Sundays.
Okay. Great.
Designed to help simplify.
Joey Galloway says, well, maybe I can't beat him in the 40 yards if we're in a race, but maybe after
the next 60.
The second 60. Although got a chance.
Although Chris Sanders, again, kind of poo-pooed that.
Breeze to the air, complete to Joey Galloway. And that's another first down for Seattle. Chris Dishman there a little late.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said before, here's a guy that is his speed is being respected. Watch Dishman here. I mean, these also defensive guys they've got to be aware where the first down marker is. Dishman way too much. I mean, obviously they're in the zone and he's got to be back there, but he's got to be at least be close enough to the receiver in the zone to make a play on the guy.
Seattle finally getting the ball going through the air to Joey Galloway. Fail. This is Warren again. He gets
$50 of package values at no extra charge.
Point, and Miami moves in front 14-7. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
At your Plymouth dealer. Aren't they clever?
Agent Mulder discovers a past life that will change his future forever.
Mulder, no!
A brand new
Oilers a couple of years ago picked up 5 there. And from the 37, Seahawks trying to keep this drive alive. Nice play action by Hughes, and he's got his tight end, Carlos O'Crumpler.
Tight end, heck, he don't care. He just runs in. They give him instructions. What do I do? Block that guy right in front of you. So, heck, he just gets in there, sticks his skinny little rear end in there along with those other monsters and does an outstanding job.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, he gets back into the sideline, and everybody's high-fiving him and patting him on the back, and that's the value of keeping your head in the game at all times.
Steve Christie to kick off after the field goal by Christie from 33 yards. Brian Mitchell returning it for the Redskins. And Mitchell is dropped at the 22-yard line. Today's Aflac trivia question is, who holds the record for the most touchdown passes in a game versus the Bills? And the answer coming up. So it's 10-7 as the Bills take advantage and capitalize on Mark Logan's fumble. Something the Redskins have avoided, those kinds of mistakes this year. The Redskins stopped the possible touchdown drive, but the three-pointer gives the Bills the lead by that much. Now the Redskins go to work at the 21. Barat steps up, and the ball is dropped, and it is an incompleted pass, says the umpire. He was in the act of throwing, so it's an incomplete pass. And right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Dick, no more winless teams in the league, not even the Falcons, who got 109 yards on the ground by that man, Jamal Anderson. This one, a 32-yard run. Falcons up in the Panthers. Back to Dick and Bub Miller.
I always know how he's bored. They always call me Bub from the studio.
2nd and 10 at the 21. Gave this to Terry Allen, who had an opening, and Allen brings it out to the 26-yard line, short of a first down by about 5 or 6. Chris Spielman on the stop.
Dick, you know, so much is talked about with all the young receivers and running backs in the game. I'm going to tell you who's going to be a star in this game right now, and that's Trey Johnson, number 77. I mean, he's big, He lost that guy. I mean, he's still got a little bit of a front porch, but he had a monster. He lost himself about 30 pounds. I think this is one of the really good offensive linemen in this league.
That's quite a front porch he has.
That's a heck of a rack, I'll tell you.
3rd and 5. Leslie Shepard in motion, and the pick pass off the hand of Jamie Asher. Marlon Kerner was defending, so the Bills clamped down defensively and force the Redskins to kick it away. You know, more on that Trey Johnson getting back. He had missed the Colt game with a sprained right knee. Practice on Wednesday, and a much better offensive line with Johnson on his position and Patton moved to tackle.
He is a physical. You saw what he did to Bruce Smith. I mean, he just flattened him. He's capable of that play after play with big guys.
Matt Turk will be kicking to Jeff Burris. 6:33 remaining in the first half. Not a good kick by Turk, and the Redskins will down it at the 42-yard line. Unlikely kick of only 32 yards for Matt Turk.
Stars collide. Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills battle Ricky Waters and the Eagles. Or two top quarterbacks clash as Dan Marino leads the Dolphins against Jim Harbaugh and the Colts. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next Sunday.
Key plays on the 12-play, 65-yard Miami.
And he'll throw this one out of bounds.
Now, this last series, Dan, you've watched Darrell Lewis. Remember before this series, they were playing a lot of zone. And Joey Galloway had all the time in the world. Now, these last couple plays, Darrell Lewis has moved up late. He's come up to go bump, and they've been playing real tight zone. They did get one off to Carlos Crumpler as a safety valve in the play before this, but this one just nobody open in man-to-man coverage.
Todd Peterson, good from 25 yards out. Spot this one at the 25, so a 35-yard attempt. He has made 22 of his last 23 field goal attempts. And he just gets that inside the right upright. So it's been a field goal battle so far.
I got Affleck.
6th of the year.
You know, we've talked about Bledsoe making such great decisions in the last few games, the last 5 or 6 games. This was really, I mean, a poorly thrown ball. He just throws this thing up for grabs. He just heaves it. Well, no purpose.
Well, the thought was good, Paul, but what?
Once again, today's Aflac trivia question: who holds the record for the most touchdown passes in a game versus the Bills? And the answer, Darryl LaMonica. He threw for 6 touchdowns for the Raiders. The victory over the Bills back in 1969. LaMonica was traded by Buffalo in '67 for Tom Flores and Art Powell. Familiar names in AFL basketball lore. 1st and 10 at the 42. Fakes a handoff, and Kelly gets it out to Steve Tasker. Tasker, with his first reception of the game, gets good yardage, and it was Sean Gilbert.
I'll tell you, he hit Quinn Early down the sideline on Tom Carter. And he knew he had him, but boy, he wanted that ball. But Kelly had made his decision quick right away because he saw Tasker back underneath.
2nd and 4. Here's Derek Holmes. Holmes diving close to the first down marker into Redskin territory.
He'll be close to a first down.
It's easy to see as the Buffalo Bills, I mean, looking from this vantage point, every time, I want you to watch this line of scrimmage. Here's line of scrimmage. Watch how it moves this way. First there's a stalemate, and then everything gets going forward. That's a good sign for the Buffalo Bills. Bad sign for the Redskins. Because that offensive line, led by Kent Hull, 67, that center, and Reuben Brown, 79, are winning the battle up front.
Talk about this being a measuring stick for the Redskins, and it is for the Bills as well. Team that is 5-3 in a tough contest coming up next week against the Eagles, who, in case you did not hear, and you could see they are short by just a couple of inches. The Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys, so Norv Turner's Redskins with a victory in mind today to retain the 1-game lead over Philadelphia in the division race.
And Norv Turner was nervous about this game. Marv Levy, on the other hand, was kind of relaxed talking to him prior to the game. Marv's been around it a long, long time, and he just looks at it and says, you know, we're gonna try to do the things we do best. Norv, on the other hand, was saying this one makes me nervous because you just wait for Kelly in that running game to get going.
3rd and 1. You know what was interesting about Marv Levy? He said he takes an hour and a half to go home and write down what he's going to tell his team before the game. Quarterback sneak and a first down for Jim Kelly to the 45-yard line. And all the cheers for Jim Kelly today. You've talked about the developments today in the NFC East with the Eagles beating the Cowboys. So Washington with a 7-1 mark. Philadelphia half a game behind. Cowboys dropped to 5-4. The Giants defeated Arizona. 1st and 10. Derek Holmes. He is tough to bring down, and Holmes carries several defenders to the 31-yard line and gets 15. Darrell Morrison.
They are just, look at this offensive line. I mean, they're winning the battle. It's that simple. Ken Hull takes care of 2 people at one time, and then a nice job by Reuben Brown again, and Holmes is right up into the secondary.
On the 30-yard line, 1st down, Buffalo. Kelly goes up on top, knocked away by Tom Carter, intended for Andre Reed, but a fine play by Carter, who was tested heavily by Jim Harbaugh last week.
Well, and then the same kind of play. And they're going to take that safety. They're going to run a receiver at the safety to hold him. And then you give Carter, the corner, all kinds of problems. Reed uses his body to go inside. And actually, that's a good play by Reed. Tom Carter turned and pointed back, and he was right because Reed did the smart thing. The veteran move of getting the push and making sure that he doesn't come down with an interception.
It'll use Chris Brandley, number 82, replaces Reed on 2nd and 10. Kelly downfield, and he overthrows Brandley, and Tom Carter again defending. There's the no huddle, and today they have gone Jim Kelly's way. 33 plays with the no huddle, only 3 when they have had an official huddle and gone with 2 tight ends.
See, there's Bresnahan, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and this no huddle takes the offense out of his hands and puts it into the head of Jim Kelly out onto the field.
Bills have been not bad on 3rd down conversion, 3 for 7.
A lot of time to throw.
We need 10 yards. The drill and the pass is caught. And a catch by Eric Moles in a crowd, and the Bills will have a first down at the 16 of the Redskins.
Now, you talk about Jim Kelly, and they're talking about, boy, his arm's not the same. Baloney. Watch this throw. First of all, there's a lot of time to throw. Nobody was open. Good coverage down the field. And then he's going to scramble out to his right. Just kind of float. And then I want you to watch where this ball comes. And that ball comes, and it is threaded perfectly. Anybody who doubts his arm strength got to go see a doctor because they ain't seeing right.
14-yard gain, and Derek Holmes. Look at Holmes go. Derek Holmes inside the 5-yard line, and a gain of 10 yards. That's 9 carries and 49 yards for Derek Holmes as Sean Gilbert checks back into the game for the Skins.
Well, Sean Gilbert was out. Jim Kelly smartly runs right up inside. The time when Sean Gilbert has been in there in the middle of that defense, he's anchored it somewhat. But I got to tell you, the offensive line, Ostrowski inside, Kent Hull, and Reuben Brown, those inside 3, they've been winning the battle up front.
And it's been a maligned offensive line lately. As you see, the Bills are short by the length of a football, and 2 of those offensive linemen were shaken up last week but have come back, Reuben Brown and Glenn Parker, and Hull himself is playing with a turf toe.
Yeah, he shot that thing up. He's walking around as proud as can be. He said, I'll never dog one of those little guys about turf toe again. He's walking around with a brand new sneaker with a hole cut in the top of it. I saw him prior to the game. He said, I had to take a shot and play, but you know, I got to play.
No contest, the total yard story, heavily in favor of Buffalo. 2nd and inches. Holmes gets the inches. And the Bills will have first down and goal inside the 4-yard line. Marcus Patton, who is appearing against his former team, number 53 for the Redskins, has been involved on a couple of plays. He was part of the Buffalo 4-year AFC dynasty, at least, that got to the Super Bowl but couldn't get the total job done.
Now they're going to go to the huddle. They changed personnel, and they'll bring a play into Jim Kelly.
10th play of the drive, 1st and goal at the 3. Tim Tyndale is the blocking back for Holmes. Scores. Touchdown, Buffalo. Derek Holmes scored his first career touchdown last week and has number 2 right here in the first half today.
Well, you saw Reuben Brown earlier pulling to the right. Now it's Ostrowski and Parker, and they're going to pull to the left. Watch, these two guys are going to go outside. Fina does a nice job of crushing everybody inside. There's Ostrowski's block. There's Parker, and then Holmes is right into the end. Heck, look at it. He's running so well. Heck, things are flopping off of him.
Steve Christie with the extra point. Derek Holmes, 11 carries, 53 yards, and this touchdown to give the Buffalo Bills a 17-7 lead over the Redskins.
Slammed down a yard loss at the 20. So that brings up third down. Meggett comes in from the sidelines.
Let's go back to that first play when he
forward to this, so let's get right into it. Now, more from Mike Ditka's Alien Guide to Football.
Twice last week. Keith Byers aside. Well, guess what? Yeah, they did.
Well, they lost 10.
They lost 10.
Third down and 12. And that's going to be a full start. It was Daryl Gardner who jumped into the backfield, but looked as if one of the Patriots lurched on that offensive line. Officials will powwow.
But if Daryl Gardner moved first, it should be a penalty on the Miami defense.
Throws the football. He has the 3 wide receivers. He has them spread out. When they try to go to nickel, he just runs. You see Sean Gilbert gets out there, boom, he just run right back inside. That's one key. The other biggest key is the offensive line is taking over the game.
That is the key, and you mentioned that as Marv Levy just stays the course, remains unflappable. Christie kicks off Brian Mitchell on the return. And Mitchell brings it out to the 33-yard line. Well, a big doubleheader on Fox next week. Pat, you and I will be at Arrowhead Stadium for the clash between the Packers and the Chiefs in the first half of our doubleheader, beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern. And in the second half, it'll be the Cowboys and the 49ers from San Francisco.
Boy, that is going to be a great day of football. The Cowboys and the 49ers still the elite in this game. And then the Green Bay Packers, who won again, even despite the people who are hurt in Kansas City, who a lot of people talked about them going to the Super Bowl this year. They're struggling right now.
Barry Allen on first down gets a couple of yards as the Redskins start from their 33.
Now this is where Tom Bresnahan does all of his coaching. And this is where you come to the sideline and you get both guys on the same page. And they just start talking, this is what they're doing, this is what we want to go to, and then the rest is up to Jim Kelly.
2-minute warning here at Rich Stadium. Gus Barat to the sideline. 17-7 Buffalo.
The season. This is what we have to get back to, and that's what these guys are taught. The guy catches the ball, strip it.
Well, leading 14-7. Marino from the 33. Abdul-Jabbar. Miami, one of the best in the league in the turnover ratio, a +9 starting today. Surprising Bengals, the leader there, and New England +4. Green Bay is +15.
Fresh.
The ball away, and now we're coming down to the 2-minute warning, and Miami only has 1 timeout left.
14-7 Dolphins.
They arranged to pick me up free, so I don't.
Watch your futures end.
They invade our space, and we fall back, assimilating.
US Healthcare have joined forces to create a partnership.
Let's rock and roll.
Begins.
Destroy them.
We've lost shields and our weapons are gone.
Resistance is futile.
No!
Star Trek First Contact, rated PG-13, starts November 22nd in theaters everywhere.
Homer's involved in a plot to control the world.
We are totally mad.
On The Simpsons season premiere, part of a full hour tonight on Non-Stop Fox.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Bills lead by 10. And they have succeeded in stopping Terry Allen thus far with only 17 rushes, 17 yards and 9 rushes. And Thurman Thomas has 58 yards. And let's not forget Derek Holmes, who also has 53 yards and a touchdown for the Bills.
No, they're on a roll. That offensive line, like I said, is taking over the game. On the other side of the ball, the Washington Redskins haven't been in sync in their passing game, and they had to do that in order to open up the run game.
2nd and 7 on the Redskin 36. Barat fires, and the pass is caught by Jamie Asher. And that'll be a first down just short of midfield. The Redskins have 3 timeouts remaining, as do the Bills. And the clock continues to run. There's the timeout story. As Redskins looking to narrow that 10-point deficit before intermission. It'll be first down for Washington on their 49. Brian Mitchell, and a big loss on the play. Chris Spielman.
Spielman came on a blitz. Calculated move from the Buffalo Bills defense. That's Wade Phillip, and a good call.
3-yard loss and a...
I got to tell you, I don't like this right now. I think the Redskins are wasting a lot of time. I don't care if they have 3 timeouts or not.
Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime, Matt, JB and Terry will bring you scores and highlights from week number 10. All that and more on the Dockers Khakis halftime report. 2nd and 13. Barat trying to get some yardage, throws it away. It was intended for Leslie Shepard.
Intended for Leslie Shepard.
Marlon Kerner did a good job defending Shepard on the out pattern. So 48 seconds showing on the clock. It'll be 3rd down and 13. Barat 7 of 15 for 71 yards, but the running game has not been there for the Redskins in this half. Looking for a receiver, and a flag is thrown.
That's going to be on Bruce Smith.
There's a flag on the play.
Bruce Smith's game, in a lot of ways, he has some Howie Long in him.
False start
he calls you
prior
Bub?
to the snap. Number 68 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Got Joe Patton. I want you to watch. They're going to call Joe Patton. You watch Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, what he does very, very well is anticipates, and that was a lot of what Howie Long did. Yeah, see, he gave the little move, and then Patton moved, and then Smith jumped after it. But Bruce Smith, he'll see that, and he'll hear the count, and if a quarterback ever gets into a rhythm, it's lights out. He'll look like he's 2 steps ahead of everybody else.
He was gearing up for Joe Patton today. He didn't like some of the things Patton had said during the week. 3rd down and 18, and the pass is incomplete. It was Kurt Schulz defending against the former Buffalo Bill, Bill Brooks.
Yeah, but Bruce Smith was right there. Smith made Barat feel the pressure, and Barat threw that ball away a little faster than he had to. Smith is going to work. He's going to come back inside of this stunt. Hansen will drive up inside. There you see he gets inside. Barat feels that thing, and he lets it fly a little bit too soon. Brooks is going to work on the out pattern, and the ball just takes off on him.
And Schulz could not keep his feet in bounds, so it's 4th down, and Matt Turk kicking again. He has punted in the 30s on 2 occasions in this half. Jeff Burris inside the 15. Finds some running room to the far side, and Matt Turk misses it and finally goes out of bounds. Good field position for the Bills, who have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Well, they strike without warning and kill without mercy. Witnesses the most terrifying animal encounters ever caught on tape. A riveting, all-new special, When Animals Attack, Part 2. Parental discretion advised, tonight on Non-Stop Fox. Thurman Thomas checking into the game. 29 seconds to go in the first half. First down, Bills on their own 40. Kelly out of the shotgun. He has time, and the pass is caught by Andre Reed, couldn't get out of bounds. And the Bills are forced to call a timeout. 23 seconds remaining in the half.
Their goals are as basic as a first home, an education, a secure retirement. Yet they own over half of all the stock in America. They are...
Oh, the official was the defender as Meggett couldn't get it.
No flag, had dropped it.
First and 20 now. Eddie George pushed back. He'll lose even more, and Houston is backed up in this.
By the way, but Dave Meggett, nobody around him, no defender. All of them were at least 10 to 15 yards deep down the field. Drew Bledsoe doing a good job of seeing the underneath receiver wide open.
34 seconds left in the half. Glenn gets a block. And the rookie scrambles to the sidelines.
And Brian Walker involved on the play. And Matt, in this quarter, Jim Kelly became the 11th quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 34,000 yards, adding another notch to his achievements.
And he had to be licking his chops looking at this Washington Redskins defense. You know, I've said this, I don't know, from the beginning of the season. A couple of things that the Redskins don't do very well. I mean, they've been inconsistent in their run defense because they don't really have guys who are going to step up and fill the holes. They don't have a legitimate pass rusher. Now, Sean Gilbert will be doubled all the time. Outside, you have a guy in Ken Harvey who gives you a great effort, but he's not going to beat you with athletic ability. If you stop on him, he'll get you.
Until today, no starting defensive lineman had a sack in the last 3 games. First and 10 at the 42. And it looks like Kelly had drawn off the Redskins. Let's see what the official call is from Larry Numbers. 16 seconds remaining in the half, and the Bills have 1 timeout. Now it looks like that may go against Kelly. We'll see.
You know, so much is talked about with Kelly in that offense. We talked about this earlier.
Neutral zone infraction on number 94.
Right. That was Sean Gilbert.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
But he plays with such confidence, and here's the reason why. Look at these 2 guys right here. Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed along with Jim Kelly. But look at these names up here. Lenny Moore, Ray Barry, Unitas, Terry Bradshaw, Stallworth and Swan, Matt Snell, Don Maynard, Jim Taylor. I mean, that's a who's who of NFL football.
First down and 5. Kelly's pass to Andre Reed. Short of the first down. The clock continues to run. And the Bills still have a timeout left. And they use it now with 3 seconds remaining. And will attempt a field goal at the conclusion, final play of this half.
Reaching your financial goals can be a complex balancing act. At the Principal Financial Group, you will find the strength of our investment performance.
A flag, and now they're going to call time.
Timeout. Miami.
Miami calls time.
The final charge timeout.
When they saw the 3 substitutes come on, Miami said being stuck with that same personnel, Phil. Now,
That's
Jimmy,
right.
That was a wise call.
Well, I think it confused everybody. Drew Bledsoe was called.
50 yards. He has not attempted one from this distance this year. High snap, and Christie bangs it left. He hooked it left, and the Bills come up empty on their final burst, and that is the end of the first half, though, with the score. The Bills 17, Redskins 7. Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages from your local Fox station.
Third rock.
Aliens discover football.
If you make it all the way down to the big poles, you get to dance.
His replacement, Don Mikowski, to Barry Sanders, breaks a couple of tackles, and the kind of run that only Barry Sanders can come up with. 18 yards and a touchdown. He had 105 yards. on 14 carries in the first half, 10-7 Detroit. Pack came out smoking in the second half, though. Favre scrambles, finds Terry Mickens, makes the diving catch for his second touchdown of the day. Packers went up 21-10. They won it 28-14. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers roll. They're 7-2 on the year. They win it 42-6. In Baltimore, the Ravens fall to the Bengals 24-21. Bengals guard Scott Brumfield taken University of Maryland Medical Center with a suspected spinal injury. He is undergoing diagnostic tests and x-rays as we speak. In Atlanta, the Falcons win their first of the season 20-17 over Carolina. At the Meadowlands, the New York Giants knock off the Cardinals 16-8. The Cardinals are 3-6 on the year. And in Chicago, the Bears hold on to beat Tampa Bay 13-10. Quick programming note. Tonight on Dateline Sunday, immediately after our football coverage, we'll bring you Jane Pauley's interview.
Bruce Smith, what's he doing? It's supposed to be a quarterback commercial. I don't know. Maybe someone should tell that to Bruce. I'm not telling him. Troy, you tell him.
Which way did the officials see it? Well, all you have to do is look at Louis Oliver's left arm. He's got it pushing Coates with his left arm, and he reaches in and knocks the ball down with his right.
The defense in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line.
When you don't complain that much, you know that you committed pass interference.
Not only that, he never turns around and looks at the ball. He impedes the receiver where the receiver has no chance to come back and get the football. Definitely pass interference.
So they mark it on the 1, first and goal. 10 seconds remain. Runner pass. Bledsoe had to throw it away, and a flag is down in the end zone. 6 seconds left. Keith Byers was the man Bledsoe was looking to. You know why? 12 men on the field for Miami.
After this, still first down.
They was looking, and they tried to sneak one guy off. Aaron Jones tries to sneak off afterwards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Couldn't get them all in there, but an extra defensive back. Or no, 97, an extra defensive lineman out there.
But after the play, Aaron Jones tries to sneak off the field, but they'd already caught him.
Now they put the 4 seconds back on the clock. 10 seconds. No, now they're taking 3 seconds back. It was down to 6. They put it to 10. Now reduced it to 7. You'll have to figure that one out yourself.
Well, they still have 1 timeout left, so it does give New England a chance to run the football if they want to and call a timeout in this situation.
Curtis Martin. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown. Bill Parcells Patriots battle back to tie before halftime.
And this whole drive was set up, Paul and Jake, by the fact that they called timeout down at the other end with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. They decided to call timeout after third down to give themselves an opportunity to score before halftime.
I like your call on this last call because if you take a look at the clock with Martin in the end zone, there's still 4 seconds on the clock. They had the opportunity to run a play and to call a timeout. Still wouldn't run the clock out. That wasn't the call.
You're at home. They won't let the clock run out on you.
Jim Terry brought attention to the extra point here, missing 3 this season, but he's good twice today. And with 4 seconds left in the half, it's tied at 14. Now, they got the ball with 1:03 left after the missed field goal by Nedney, and here's the end result. Barely in. Martin right at the goal line.
Curtis Martin just giving a little extra effort and being tough inside because Miami's defensive line gets some penetration and actually hits him a yard or 2 away from the end zone.
John Burke with a solid block to help Martin in, and Bill Parcells, he knows where his...
With all that speed, takes it down into the end zone, and the Pack take care of the visiting Lions. 28.
Well, that's not our prevent. Yes, it is. I always say about the prevent, the reason I don't like it, it prevents the team from getting a field goal, and it enables them to get a touchdown. And in this case, all Drew Bledsoe did was just throw underneath the 2 safeties and just march right down the field. He had 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Paul, you're right. The one thing I do not like about the prevent defense, it always allows the offense to get started, get the drive going, you get in some rhythm, and once an offense gets in rhythm, they usually throw some good plays together, and like you say, it gives them a chance to score touchdowns.
That was an impressive drive in 1 minute and 4 seconds, 65 yards. Helped out on a couple of occasions by Miami penalties. Vinatieri just splits one down, and final seconds tick away, and that'll be it for the half. So Drew Bledsoe and Dan Marino hooked up in a
12:38. It was captured by 10,000 Celts.
Plug people in and get the job done, and he's doing that. Now, the thing that Mike told us a couple of weeks ago, he's staying with that running game, and the running game is really helping. It's giving them balance.
All right, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a winner today. Big time, 42-6 over the St. Louis Rams. Remember, we were feeling sorry for the Steelers on opening day when they lost Greg Lloyd. I don't think anybody's feeling sorry for them anymore.
I got to tell you, I was one of those guys. And I'll tell you, they're winning with defense. They're rushing the football. We've talked to them many times on the show what Bettis has meant to them. And I tell you right now, they are on a roll.
In Pittsburgh's schedule, they don't play a team with a winning record until the middle of December. This is the team that's going to have home field advantage.
And we've said it before, we'll say it again. Those guys sure love to play football for Bill Cowher, don't they?
Got it.
Our NFL on NBC halftime activities continue.
In the 100-yard universe. This message for
continues with their battle of field goal kickers. Seahawks on top by 3. When we come back, I guess we'll just come back and just talk a little bit. It'll be in Buffalo, right?
Might as well.
Doc